What is up, Eastern Oregon? This is Dodzy, and this is your sports show for Friday, April 2nd, 2021. First thing, I just want to say congratulations to all the seniors, man, all the LHS seniors for this fall sports session or whatever you want to call it. I know you guys got a lot taken away from you, and, man, you guys persevered, and I appreciate you guys. And I plan on trying to get more of these LHS seniors on the show, volleyball, football. I'm going to do my best to get you some more interviews moving forward. This is all brought to you by Northwest Furniture and Mattress right here in LeGrand. Big red rocking chair right on Elm. You can't miss it. Go see their website. Go see their showroom. The Daggett family is a staple in this community, and you should go check out Northwest Furniture and Mattress. If you need a chair, if you need a couch, if you need a bed, go check them out. It's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Friday dance, go. Love it. EOU sports, man, they are jam-packed this weekend. Basketball is on the road at Warner Pack, women and men. Baseball's at home today and tomorrow. They're scrimmaging Northwest All-Stars. Football at home tomorrow. Volleyball at home. You can go to EOUsports.com and get all the information on streaming. Go to EOUsports.com and check it out. They got the schedules, the rosters, everything there, the records, everything you want to see. I'm going to jump right into it. I mean, today's a big show, man. My first guest is a sophomore EOU women's lacrosse player. We sat down, we talked a little bit about lacrosse. It's Kiana Watchman. Here it is. Kiana, what's up?
Just chilling. Had lifting today and about to have practice, but everything's all good.
Let's kick it off how I kick off just about every interview. How'd you end up at EOU?
So actually I took a year off of school after I graduated. I graduated in 2019. So I took a little semester and I worked for a little bit, and then I decided to go spring semester over to Snow College over in Utah. And I was there for about 3 months until they kicked us out because of COVID. So I went back home. And that's when I started to look into EOU, and I knew that Coach Monica had just got hired and that she was starting a new program here at EOU. I'm originally from Boise, Idaho, and I have a lot of family in Pendleton as well. So I decided to just go here because it was right in the middle, and to come play women's lacrosse, start a new program out, and it was just kind of the best of both worlds. I was right in between both of my families, and so yeah, that's why I'm here right now.
Nice. Did you do you guys call her Coach Monica or do you call her Coach P?
We usually just call her Coach, but Coach Monica, Coach P, she goes by.
I call her Coach P because I don't want to have to try to figure out how to say her last name.
I know it's tough. It's definitely.
I know it's Plut, but yeah. In the beginning it was like Plut. So we just called her Coach P, and I know
it's so much easier. We just all call her Coach at this point.
So when did you start playing lacrosse?
I started playing lacrosse my sophomore year of high school. I originally was a volleyball player, was playing for a long time there, and then it got pretty political, and I ended up not liking it as much as I thought I would. So I was like, I need to play a spring sport, and so it was between rugby and lacrosse. And with my ties back at the reservation, my dad was teaching the youth how to play lacrosse already. And so he kind of took me out there, showed me a little bit about it. And that's when I kind of got more into it and decided to start at my first high school that I was at, which was Rocky Mountain. And then from there, I just naturally picked it up and then went to play at Centennial. And then that's where I graduated.
Nice. So you say your dad's ties at the reservation. What reservation?
So I'm from the Confederate Tribes of the Umatilla Indian Reservation. That's right up in Pendleton. If you guys have been to Wild Horse, you'd know exactly where that is. That's a big part of our tribe. But yeah, so I'm right up there in Pendleton, pretty close to home. And I'm a big part of all of that. My dad is he's on the council chair. He's council chairman. He got that job a couple of years ago, so he'll be up there for about 5 years, and he has a lot of ties. He helped with the Nikiawe High School, and he got that situated out and got that renovated. And so since that, like, my dad's just been teaching me a lot about the sport and about our culture, and it's been a really awesome experience.
You can tell that you're involved in it because you can actually say Nikiawe.
Yeah.
Most people say like Nikwa or Nikiwa, or it's
Right.
Nikiawe. Like,
yeah, my brother's on that team. I don't know if you've ever heard of Moses, but he's awesome. He has a lot of talent, and he's on that team, and so we support that team a lot, and we're starting to get lacrosse more into the picture as well.
So as for lacrosse, was it your like goal to play lacrosse in college, or did you have other dreams?
Actually, yeah, I was talking about it to my dad. I'm sure it was like after senior night, my senior year, but he would always come up to Boise and come support me at my games. And like one of the days we went out and got dinner after the game, and he was telling me about how he heard that EOU they had just announced that EOU was going to start a women's lacrosse program along with the baseball program, and so that really interested me. And so before I decided to go here, I was just kind of killing time, waiting for us to get a coach here and waiting for us to begin our program. And I was getting recruited to go play at Midland in Nebraska, but I was like, I don't want to go live in the middle of nowhere. So I was waiting and waiting, being patient with this program. And then finally, the coach got announced, and I ended up contacting Monica, and she gave me the opportunity to come here, and I took it because I did not feel like I was done playing lacrosse yet. So, yeah.
Would you rather be a normal person today or a queen 2,500 years ago?
A normal person today, or what? You cut out.
A queen 2,500 years ago.
You know, I don't think I could live in the situation 25 years, whatever you said, because I like fashion, and I don't think I could stand life without technology. So I would rather be alive right now and just be chilling, because if I lived a long time ago, I probably would die at a very young age.
Fair enough. So lacrosse wise, there's obvious ties to Native culture. I've had the conversation a little bit with Coach P, but why don't you give us a little rundown on that?
Okay, so lacrosse actually started on the East Coast of the Native America, and so that started with the Onondaga Native tribe, and also with the Iroquois, and so they kind of started the game of lacrosse, and the natives actually used it as a way to dispute war and to dispute land issues. And so instead of going to war with each other, they decided to play the game of lacrosse. And the game of lacrosse is actually played for our creator, which is who created the earth for us and provides for us as people. And so the creator actually has healing powers, and that's why lacrosse is called the medicine game. I use that term a lot. That's why I play lacrosse, because it gives me more of a healing factor more than anything. I can forget about everything in my outside life and just leave it all out on the field. And I take a lot of time to think about that, like during the when we do the Pledge of Allegiance and everything, and we listen to the Star Spangled Banner, I just sit there with my hand on my heart. I just think about all my ancestors, and I take that time to think about everything that they've gone through. Before my lacrosse game, it definitely helps. Women weren't actually allowed to play lacrosse back then because they were seen more as caregivers and more of the protectors of the children. So men would not allow women to play. And the traditional game was also played with wooden sticks, and also instead of nets and goals, we played with like wooden poles back then. And that's kind of how we play it back home as well, when we get all the youth together. And I've definitely had the opportunity to do this. We use like trees or any small objects to basically use as our goal, and if you hit it, then you get a point. And it definitely helps a lot with accuracy. But back then, it was played by thousands of men from both tribes. And it was also used recreationally too, just as a fun activity. But it was crazy the amounts of people that would come, and the lacrosse game would be played for days and days and days until the dispute was settled and there was a winner. And so, yeah, it's more than just a sport. It's part of our culture.
Yeah, definitely. Now I want to put you on the spot because – and Coach P didn't get this either, so don't feel bad if you don't get it. But who's the most famous lacrosse player ever in the United States?
The most famous lacrosse player?
Yeah.
What, a woman or men?
It's a man.
Is it the Thompson brothers? I love the Thompson brothers. I don't know who it is.
It's Jim Brown, the famous football player. See, I get to educate you a little bit about lacrosse too today. So Jim Brown's a Hall of Fame football player, but he's also the best lacrosse player. And it's probably an argument in some circles, but most circles, he's the best lacrosse player that ever lived in the United States. He played at Syracuse. He was just a phenomenal athlete all around.
Do you know what year he played?
Oh gosh, I have it right here. I was looking it up just to make sure I remembered what school he played at. It was probably like I would imagine in the 50s. Okay. Yeah, 50s, 40s. Yeah, 50s. Because he played in the NFL in the 70s. So yeah, 50s, 60s, somewhere around there.
So he just played in college. He didn't go past that.
No, because he played in the NFL. He's a Hall of Fame running back in the NFL.
Mm-hmm. That's actually very interesting to know.
Yeah, Jim Brown. We talked about that with Coach P when we had the Johnny Ball Game show. Mm-hmm. There's also another guy that she brought up, but I can't remember his name. Who's the most famous woman lacrosse player? I don't know.
I'd say Taylor Cummings. She has won 3 Tewaaraton trophies, and that's basically a Heisman in lacrosse, and she's the only male or female to ever win 3 of those.
What school? NCAA?
She played for Maryland, and won many championships with them. She is insane. She's basically probably one of the biggest idols for a lot of women lacrosse athletes out there.
I love that lacrosse is starting to get a broader focus because when I was young, when I was your age, lacrosse was like for rich kids. Mm-hmm. Honestly. Yeah. Like you only saw lacrosse I moved to Oregon when I was 13 from San Diego. Mm-hmm. And you only saw lacrosse in the richer, uppity high schools. You only saw it in Oregon. You really only saw it in the Portland metro area. Mm-hmm. I mean, and now it's starting to. I mean, we have a lacrosse team in LeGrand at Eastern Oregon. That's awesome.
Yeah, and I think that was one of the big main focuses about building this program is we not only wanted to build it here at Eastern, but we wanted to build it like across the country in Oregon because. Me being from Boise, the closest really like team that there was Boise State, and their only club. Like there's no basically any women's lacrosse teams that are sponsored by the schools. So it was really nice hearing that a school so close is going to have a team that's recognized by the school.
Nice. Do you like pineapple on pizza?
Oh my gosh, no. Who asked you that? Who asked you that?
I ask everybody that.
No, you do not.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we have a girl on our team that asked all of our speakers that. So I thought that you were just clowning me.
No.
Oh my gosh. No, definitely not. Pineapple does not belong on pizza. I don't really like pizza, but pineapple.
You don't like pizza?
No, not really. I had a terrible experience when I was younger. I got really sick, and I kept seeing Papa Murphy's ads on my TV, and it made me hate pizza forever, so now I hardly ever eat it.
What's your favorite food then?
Sushi.
Sushi?
Well, okay, listen. I'm a quarter Japanese.
I have to eat like 50 sushis to get full.
Listen, I'm a quarter Japanese and I'm a quarter native, so you gotta cut me some slack.
Yeah, but sushi, man, you gotta eat so much of that to get full. It's ridiculous.
Whatever. It's so good. In my heart, it's so good.
I agree. I mean, I think it tastes good, but I have to eat like 5 rolls.
Okay, well then how many pizzas do you have to eat?
I don't eat very well. Right now, I don't eat any pizza because I'm on this Metrim diet, but normally, like if I was gonna have pizza, I'd have like 4 pieces.
It's the same thing.
Well, yeah, but 4 pieces of pizza is like $10.
Yeah,
5 rolls of sushi is like $50.
Okay. Okay. Well, there's no good sushi here in LeGrand anyway, so I haven't had a lot of sushi either.
Nice. So with lacrosse, let's talk a little bit about the struggles, like with COVID and with just people coming and going, because that's obviously going to happen with any sports program.
Mm-hmm.
But with COVID and with it being a new program and trials and tribulations, let's talk a little bit about that. What's the biggest struggle been this year so far?
I think the biggest struggle is new student athletes coming into the program and not realizing like how much commitment it was going to be. And especially for me, this is one of the biggest things for me, is like not being able to go see my family, because I literally like came to LeGrand because I was like, okay, awesome. Like my dad and my whole community is up there, right, in Pendleton. Like they're not far away at all. And then I have family in Boise. So I was like, great. Like on the weekends I can go see them. And then showing up and then them telling us like, oh, you can't see your families, was a really hard thing to deal with, especially with them being so close. But so for me, that's been the biggest trial, I guess, for me. But I would say for the rest of my team here, it's definitely just been like being a student athlete during a pandemic. Like it is nothing compared to what regular seasons are like. Like we have to wear masks. We like don't get as much freedom as other people usually would. We don't, in the very beginning of our season, we weren't allowed to have an audience to watch us. And so I think that was really hard, because like you come in picturing like what it's going to be like being a student athlete, and then when a lot of the exciting parts of being a student athlete gets taken away, I think that was a really hard hit for a lot of the girls on the team. And so I would say that was one of the biggest.
Yeah, I can't imagine being like a new student athlete on the college level, which
Yeah.
I was a college athlete. I played baseball in college, and coming into a program and being told like you can't leave the county. You can't you have to wear a mask all the time. You can't hang out with your teammates if they aren't your roommate. That would be just like really tough.
It has. It's definitely been different, and I think it shocked a lot of the girls on the team, and I'm sure shocked a lot of other student athletes. And what I've definitely heard a lot from other student athletes is like, this isn't normal. Like it's so much better on a regular year, and so you kind of just have to think about it. Like it's gonna get better. Like this isn't gonna last forever. But I think the strongest athletes are the ones that have pushed through this.
Yeah, you got to persevere.
Yeah, exactly.
And the real positive about it is at least it doesn't count as a year of eligibility.
Well, I think it counts for us since we're a spring sport.
Really?
That's what I've heard, that it's going to count for us because we're considered a spring sport and we've still got our season.
You're going to get a full season?
Well, so right now we only have one other team in the CCC conference, which is our conference. So
Corbin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Corbin's the only team. So we've honestly been playing a bunch of random other like D3 schools, and basically they were just fitting us into their schedule. Like they had their schedules planned out, and we were just trying to get like a weekend in, and we were technically scrimmages for all of them. So when we played like Whitworth and all of them, like we were just basically a scrimmage to them. But at the same time, we did technically get a season, which I'm really happy for, because they could have just taken our season away.
Yeah, at least you got some games.
Yeah, so at this point I just want to play. But yeah, so it is considered a year, but I have a few more years of eligibility, so I'm okay with it.
Usually I ask people to grab their phone right now, but I can't ask you because you're using it. But what's the last song you listened to on your playlist?
I think it was oh gosh, it's probably either rap or it's.
Well, give me the name of the song and who it is.
You know what? It was that Lil Nas X song that just came out.
What's it called?
The really controversial one. I do not know. It's like I think it's a Spanish word. I'm not sure, but it's like a super controversial one. But me and the girls love Pop Smoke on our team. You should see us. We literally like freak out when Pop Smoke comes on. Like whenever people see us, they're like, "Oh, those are like the girls that are obsessed with Pop Smoke," because he's our person. He
has a very distinctive voice.
Yes, we go hard to Dior. That's all I gotta say.
That's funny. Okay, so if there was a Hollywood movie about you, who's playing you, and what's the name of the movie?
Jennifer Lawrence is playing me.
Okay. That's is that Katniss Everdeen?
Yes.
Okay.
Because when I was younger in like middle school, people would always like during that whole phase of her being popular, they were like, "You look like her" and all this stuff. So I'd say Jennifer Lawrence, and it would probably be a name.
Yeah.
It'd probably just be like "Welcome to the Shit Show" or something weird like that. Because literally, my life is crazy. I feel like my life is a movie. I have so many pictures and videos of myself. I'm like, my life is a movie. Y'all are just living in it. Like, my life is already a movie. I don't need one named after me.
Nice. So let's talk about your personal goals real fast and the team goals, and then we'll basically get you out of here.
Okay. Personally, I just really want to play to the best of my ability. This is my first year as a college athlete, so I'm just kind of moving towards greatness at this point. I've played like every single position this season because we've had to kind of be flexible with our positions. So probably just gain really good stats this year. I mean, I shoot as much as I can, but I think this year I just want to be probably one of the best defenders that I possibly can. Defense is actually a lot more important than a lot of people think it is. And so I think I just want to be that teammate that they can rely on and that my goalie can rely on to keep people from scoring. And I think especially against Corbin, we've already played them and we want to keep working towards our goals, which is to have really good defense. We've been working on zone defense for like, I want to say 4 days straight. So I want to get that down. I think I just want my team to have like a fun season together. It was crazy. Our Whitworth game was insane. I don't know if you ever caught up on that, but our Whitworth game, we ended up playing. We came there with 5 girls or 6 girls. 2 of them got injured, so we were down to 4, including a goalie. So it was me, Sammy Buckley, and Sadie Hetrick on the field. And then Jaden Mitchell was in goal. And it was crazy because we just ended up playing 3-on-3 with the other team and pulled our first win of the season. And I guess that was kind of just the craziest experience that we had because it showed that we had a lot of connection and that we were able to pull it together. And that was a really big win for me and our coaches and just for the program and all, because that was our first win for the university. Yeah. So I think just feeling that sort of excitement again and feeling that kind of connection with me and my teammates, I think that's our biggest goal of the season, and just to end having a good season, a positive season together. And we want to work towards recruiting more girls for next year, and my coach is doing a great job doing that. There's more girls from my side of the woods coming up, and so I'm really excited for that and to build this team. But I think that's our goal, is just to keep going and just to push through this COVID year at this point.
Yeah, good. Last question. And so where's Kiana Watchman 10 years from now?
Kiana Watchman. Okay, I'm gonna be 30. That's old. Okay. Well, in my eyes, it's old.
30's not old.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna feel old when I'm 30. Hopefully, I have kids and a husband. I mean, that'd be really sick. And hopefully, I really want to go into sports reporting. That's kind of what I'm wanting to use my communication major for. And so honestly, it'd be the dream to work for ESPN or something like that, but I would even settle to work at a news station too as well, or just kind of do what you're doing, reporting and stuff like that. So that's kind of what I would love to go into. And even social media marketing, I think, would be also a really fun idea. But yeah, and hopefully I'm gonna have my kids in lacrosse. I'm probably gonna make them do lacrosse because that's just kind of the parent I'm going to be. But I don't know. Hopefully just in a good place and happy. Maybe I'll be around here. Maybe I'll be somewhere else. Who knows? But yeah.
Good. Well, maybe we'll have to talk with Barnett and see about getting some sort of internship going on down here and let you get some credit for it.
Yeah, I would love that. I would take anything at this point.
That would be cool. Eastern Oregon. She's EOU Women's Lacrosse is Kiana Watchman. I'm Dodzy. We're out. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great kid. Excellent interview. She was really peppy. That's fun when there's good chemistry and things just go right. This one here is a big one for me. I've wanted him on the show since we were doing the Johnny Ball Game show, and this is huge. He's like I always say this. There's like 3 people that my age group talked about being our heroes from LeGrand: Dave Ewan, Neil Abel, and this guy. It's none other than Eric Trice. Here's the interview. I mean, I brought back the legends. It's in Doug Trice's honor. This is Doug Trice's nephew. It's Eric Trice. What's up, man?
Hey, man. Thanks for having me on board. I appreciate it.
I'm so glad that I got a hold of you. I mean, like I told you before when I was talking to you on the phone, for people my age, there's one of three people's names come up. There's three people's names that come up when we talk about legends. You, Dave Hewlin, and Neil Abel, and that's it. I mean, I'm not joking. And you can't be humble about this because it's reality.
Man, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Those guys, those are some, great baseball players, football players as well. So, man.
So I was digging around through your Instagram too, and I saw the picture, the snowcap picture.
Oh,
I was on the very last snowcap team. So
were you really? What year was that?
I was. The very last year of snowcap was my sophomore year. I was the only sophomore on the team. So that would have been like Muncie, Chachis, all those guys were seniors, and I was a sophomore. And that was the very last year. The next year, we switched to Rain Roofing.
Nice. And who was your coach then?
Wes McAllister.
Oh, so Wes was still there. Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Wes, great game, man.
Yeah, he coached me all 3 years of Legion.
Yeah. No, Wes and Rob Cushman, they were my coaches when I played on Snowcap as well as Eastern for a year. And I'll tell you what, man, I learned a lot of baseball, from those guys, just the ins and outs and just, the whole just intelligence behind baseball. Those guys,
Oh, dude, Mac was a baseball dude.
Right?
That guy bled baseball.
Yeah.
Hey, and he taught you how to take care of that field too, didn't he?
Yeah, mainly the pitchers, but yeah. No,
dude, it was constant. Yeah. So you graduated from LeGrand in 1990, which was a really good time for sports in this area. I mean, you had like I said, you had guys like Neil Abel, Jamie Falconer was probably your class, right around there.
1 year before us, or 1 year young.
What? Give me some of your memories about that time at LeGrand. Like, what was your favorite part of it? Was it track? Was it baseball? Was it summer baseball?
I mean, I think my favorite part of it was that I got to play all the sports. So, baseball in the summer, but I couldn't play baseball during high school because that's when I was running track. But I would say, I mean, it's equal. Just, being able to, compete in track and then going, rolling right into baseball into the summer and then, once again into the fall sports. But, I think it's really hard for me now to kind of think back because, that was a while ago. But I just remember so many good people, good friends. Don't talk to too many of them, but I'm still able to keep up with them on social media. But it was just, I would say it was probably one of the best, like that time in my high school career was probably one of the best times of my life.
Nice. That's one of the things that I really, truly love about social media. Like, you don't have to pick up the phone and call somebody every day to let them know that you're interested in their life and what they're doing. It takes 1 second to just hit that like button. You know what I mean? Like, and if you put something on social media and you're my friend and I hit that like, that's me letting you know that I saw it and I recognized it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love it. So this dude didn't even play high school baseball. You played no high school baseball at all?
No, not at all.
And you still got drafted straight out of high school.
I don't know what they were thinking. They just,
they saw a stud athlete and they were like, let's swoop this guy up just in case.
What's funny? It was like back then it was like the expanded draft. So it felt like, a lot more people got drafted back in the day. So, I mean, I remember the scouts coming around and it was when I was playing, snowcap baseball was when, the scouts started coming around, actually maybe even a little bit before then. But, the thing that I had that was my talent that I was able to capitalize on was speed. And so, but, being able to showcase my speed, on the track, it translates into stolen bases, on the baseball diamond. So
absolutely. And running balls down in the outfield. You were an outfielder, I would imagine.
The funny thing was I was a catcher for the longest time.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. And then it was Cushman and I think it was, and Wes, switched me around, put me in the outfield. And, not as many balls, come out in the outfield. And I got a little bored out there. But, I love playing catcher. That was obviously shortstop before then when you're really young,
Best player plays shortstop.
The good players play shortstop. And then I was like, oh, okay, this is great. Oh, I want to wear all that gear and have some fun. And so it was just more like a boyhood just thing. I want to put on all the gear. And then I just, fell in love with it.
Nice. I caught up until about 13 years old, and then I started getting too tall. My knees were hurting all the time. So I was a pitcher. I played first base.
6'5", man. The probably couldn't see over you.
Yeah. I didn't come into my own though until like probably the summer of my sophomore year. So I didn't hit my growth spurt till sophomore year. So that summer was the summer where I spent it with. I was a 15-year-old with a bunch of 18-year-olds. You can imagine what that was like. I mean, I'm hanging out with all these seniors that have already graduated high school. That one of them, Muncie's got a house right down the road, his own house from where my parents live. So I'm just in this. I got thrown into this circus at a young age. What'd you do? So when we talk about after you left LeGrand, you went to University of Oregon to run track.
Yeah. So left LeGrand, the best thing, ever was, got drafted and then, got a scholarship to, run track at Oregon. So I almost headed down to Stanford. So that was an option, but the door kind of got, closed off a little bit late. And so I ended up going down to University of Oregon for a couple of years to run track. You
ran at the old complex, right?
Yeah. Yep. The old one. I mean, I don't think anybody's ran at this new one just yet, but
right.
Yeah, it was old school when I got there.
Oh, the new one's not open yet.
I'm not sure if they're. I imagine that they are. It's open now, but I mean, just like as of this, this season.
So wait, you at University of Oregon, you ran the 100, or did you ran the 100 and did jumps, right? I watched a video of you, like an old video. You had a little high top fade, and I think it was I want to say it was a triple jump video.
Yeah, a buddy of mine, found it like on YouTube and shot it over to me, and I posted on my social media. And I love it. And it was so funny just watching just kind of my personality back then. I thought I was pretty damn cool, man.
You got a little swag in your step. A little
swag, ran down it, and I was like, I didn't get the jump I wanted. I was showing some attitude. I was like, wow. You
were cut, though. You were ripped, dude. You were in good shape.
I want to get back there, but it was awesome. It was cool to see that old footage.
So now after college, you were a lawyer for a little while, right? You went to law school.
Yeah. Yep.
So what happened after college? After U of O, let's move from there.
What's funny is that I don't know if you knew this, but I actually came back and I played a year of baseball at Eastern.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
How do I not know that? What year was that?
92. So, so 90, 91, 92 was running, or 90, 91, 91, 92 was running track at Oregon.
Yeah.
The Yankees came off and they came back and they drafted me. And
26th round.
Yeah. And so, and then my scout was talking to him and he was like, hey, we need to get you to go and play baseball now. It's time to play baseball. And so I had a choice, and I actually had Oregon State, Pat Casey. Pat Casey was actually my summer league coach for a wood bat league here in Portland a long time ago.
Great coach.
Yeah, and that's when he was at George Fox before Oregon State. So that lets you know how old I
am. Dating yourself.
Yeah, man. And so anyway, so I had a chance to go to Oregon State, but then again, Rob Cushman, Wes, and those guys were like, Eric, we know who you are. We know your strengths. We'll get you, playing right now. And it was a chance for me to come back to LeGrand, for a year and just play some ball. And so I actually came back to LeGrand, and I believe it was the 92-93 season.
So who was here by that time playing? Was Scarfo already here?
Mm-mm.
No, Scarfo wasn't here yet. So it would have been.
So it was. I came back and played with Neil Abel. Was on. Yeah. Neil was there. Kevin Nice.
He coached me.
Tim James and
He coached me too.
Yeah. And gosh, there's so many guys, and I apologize, my boys from Eastern Oregon on the baseball team. Is like I am just completely spacing everybody that was on that team, but just so many just good guys. Those are LeGrand guys that were on that team. But I just made friends with a lot of people, and we just had some more, people get drafted, from that experience and play at Eastern. So that's what happened. I came back and I ended up, dislocating my shoulder. Yeah. During that season.
Oh,
and that's what really got me is
I always wondered what happened.
Yeah. So dislocated the shoulder seam. Yeah. My left shoulder. And I actually just recently, probably about a year ago, I finally had surgery on it. And so, yeah, the doctor was like, oh my,
oh man,
you tore everything. And it was through that. And then a mountain biking accident, I had, finally had to have surgery. And so I don't know, to kind of back up. So yeah, so I came back to Eastern for a year, was waiting for, the next team, which was the Atlanta Braves. They were supposedly going to draft me. That didn't work out. And then I went back to U of O and spent 2 more years running track at Eastern. Or I'm sorry.
Wow. That's a crazy story. I never heard that. And to hear it out of like the actual person's mouth, it's not like one of those little folklores around LeGrand where they sit at benches and talk about, so-and-so did this. That's interesting. That's awesome. Yeah. And so you go back to U of O, you finish school, and then what? Where do you go from there?
So, I finished school, and it was just kind of one of those things where I was like, all right, what do I do next? And I had, an amazing jumps coach. So that was the main reason why I actually went to U of O, is because of, my long jump, triple jump. I became a sprinter, that was kind of the side thing that I did, ran the relay at Oregon as well. But his name was John Gillespie, just, great guy, great jumps coach. And he was like, hey, why don't you, try to become a lawyer? He goes, that, you sound like you'd be a good guy, you're a smart guy. I was like, I don't know about that. I had this psychology degree, and I don't know really what you do with a psychology degree, social minor. And so I was like, all right, well, yeah, I'll go to law school. And it was kind of that type of a decision. And so I went off to law school for 3 years.
So did you go to U of O for law school, or Willamette, or where?
Yeah, so I went to U of O. So I'm a double duck.
You're a double duck. Whoa. Yeah. You ever root for the Beavers when they're not playing the Ducks?
I love the Beavers, man.
Yeah,
they're good dudes. I got to work with Pat Casey and some of the guys from the team in a later job. But yeah, those guys are awesome. I mean, I won't root for them for track, but yes.
So then after the whole lawyer thing, what kind of lawyer were you?
So started out as a corporate lawyer, downtown Portland, large firm. I was doing commercial litigation, bankruptcy, and I got absolutely bored out of my mind. And
I can't imagine.
The thing, it wasn't like my passion to go and become a lawyer. So, got to that point, and, I was like, wow, I need to get back to sports somehow, or I need to taste something. I need to go after something else. And so I reached out to buddies and Nike and Adidas, and it didn't come through. And then I ended up, trying kind of the next step in being a lawyer. And so I became a deputy DA. And so I started prosecuting criminals here at Multnomah County in downtown Portland. And so that was an absolutely amazing experience. When I think of like the experiences in my life that helped me grow, like that was one of them. I mean, I was in trial every single day, trying cases, speaking in front of juries. And I never liked public speaking. I still don't like public speaking, but
neither do I.
Yeah, it was one of those things where I was just like, wow, okay, I can do this. You just, get over it and get the job done. And so that really helped me in my career moving forward. So the ability to reason, be on your feet, and being able to make a coherent argument. So right. It was great.
So before we move into the next step next chapter in Eric Trice's life, if they were to make a Hollywood movie about Eric Trice, who would play Eric Trice, and what would the name of the movie be?
Oh my. Well, I mean, of course, I'm gonna pick The Rock.
Nice.
I'm gonna pick The Rock. Can I curse on this? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't care. Go for it.
I almost dropped
This is not FCC regulated. If you need to drop a curse word, drop it.
I'm not really sure what the title would be, but it would be something about, I don't know, getting past the bullshit. I don't know. It's just, just lots of stuff in my life and lots of stuff in everybody's life that they get past. But, you just take one step at a time and just get past it. But
dude, absolutely. My mom's taught me one really good thing. My mom's in recovery. My mom has like 34 years. My mom was a heroin addict. And the one thing that my mom's taught me that really sticks with me, and I didn't practice it my whole life, is I can't control what other people do.
There you go.
Right? I can control what Kyle does. That's it. And how I react to what other people do. And once I grasped that concept in life, it took me a long time.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. But once I kind of grasped it, my life has gotten a lot easier.
Yeah. I think that goes along with, I mean, a lot of what I've been doing. I would say probably over the past like 5 years, it's lots of just, reflection and lots of meditation for me, and just really being just centered and just taking a step back and taking a look at life. I mean, I had an absolutely amazing, past, but it's not about the past. It's about, present and just being aware. Like even during our conversation, really being, listening to you and giving you good feedback and just being present in every moment moving forward. And I think that's how I live my life now.
Definitely, man. I love that. I love that philosophy too. Just being present. That's a great way to word it, and a great. It's respectful too. It's respectful. It shows that you have integrity. You know what I mean? Like if you're present in every moment, you soak in what's going on. It makes not only the people around you better, but it makes you better too.
Yeah, 100%. And think about the times that we're in now, right? I mean, just
crazy,
craziness, locked up, with COVID. And there's so many different opinions and politics get attached to every opinion that's out there. And so just to kind of let that stuff kind of go and just be present in your day, almost, it seems like that's tough, but
very tough.
Yeah. Anyway, and stay away from media.
When we were, yeah, right. So when we were talking about being the assistant DA in Multnomah County, what was the next step in Eric Trice's life?
Yeah. So next step was reaching out to buddies, how can I get back to sports? And so reached out to another friend of mine, Tom McGee, and he actually somehow wrangled me into Adidas. And so I came on board Adidas, and I had probably one of the best, just career experiences of my life. I got a chance to come in at Adidas at a time when it felt like it was expanding here in the US. And I started out as a basketball merchandiser and just kind of worked my way up into being a product developer and just product management. And it was interesting because that job allowed me to not only just work with the product and work with athletes, but actually coming up with concepts and thinking about just different marketing concepts and developing prototypes, flying over to China and actually working with a factory to create a product, coming back to the United States, merchandising that with our sales force, and then eventually going out on the road and selling it into like Foot Locker, Finish Line, Garts, just all the sporting goods stores. So it was an absolutely, I'll overplay that, but that was one of the best experiences of my life, is just figuring out that there's a place, to have a career and make some money in sports and doing something that you love to do.
Is there anything that you haven't done?
I'm an old guy, man.
I mean, you go from being a lawyer to an Adidas product developer. That's crazy. What was next? What was next on the list after Adidas?
Well, what was cool is that a former Duck named Rudy Chapa had started a brand called Spark, and that stands for Speed, Power, Agility, Reaction, and Quickness. And he reached out, brought me on board. He knew of my background as a Duck, as an attorney, and working in the sports industry, and so I got to work with him and another talented group of people to create a startup company and just develop this concept of training with athletes. Train, test, compete was kind of the mantra. And so I got to be one of the business unit managers, and I got to work in football, and then kind of my specialty was baseball, and then travel around the United States, work with different coaches, talk about the concepts. I got to learn about branding, which was amazing. I mean, obviously I got to learn about branding through Adidas, but really pushing it out there and developing the branding on our own was just an amazing experience. And so I did that, man. I can't remember the years, maybe from 2005, 2006 to about late 2008, 2009. And then at that time, Nike came in and purchased the company.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So did you go to work directly for Nike after that?
No, that's when I split off, and I took a lot of the training concepts that I learned, and I ended up becoming a personal trainer and sprint coach, speed coach.
And do you still currently do that along with your new passion and job?
I don't. I used to. I did it for a while when I could keep up with the youngsters and I could help them, actually teach them the skills, teach them the technique. But these days I'm so busy in deep in marketing that's kind of where I've gone with it, and I realized that I need to focus on the marketing piece and content creation. So,
you got your phone with you?
I do.
Pick it up. What's the first song on your playlist, or the last song that you listened to?
Oh man. Okay. All right.
Yep.
Well, let me see.
Something good?
Do you know who? Let me see. Wow. Do you know who Brent Faiyaz is?
Of course.
All right.
Yeah. What's the song?
Soon as I Get Home.
Nice. Yeah. I talk to a lot of college athletes, a lot of girls. They love that guy.
So what are you trying to say?
Well, no, I'm just saying it's an R&B. He's an R&B dude. He's kind of still key, like it's fine. I like R&B.
Yeah, no, I like it because he's still a little underground. He still has a case for underground. Like back when The Weeknd was still underground.
Yeah, when he wasn't quite so weird. He's a little weird now. I mean, the whole halftime show kind of tripped me out with the jock straps for the masks. Yeah, it was weird, but I love The Weeknd's music. I think he is super talented.
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay, so now let's talk about what Eric Trice is doing now. After all this whole long story of all the different things that you've been involved in and done, which is remarkable. Where are you at right now?
So I think I told you I then became a personal trainer and started doing marketing. So what was interesting is I really like the training, personal training piece of it, working with athletes. Once again, I love doing that. But what I started developing a passion for, which started at Adidas, is really the marketing side, and just learning how to market my own business and starting to create content. Because I started what I was doing in personal training around 2009. Around 2009. And, Facebook was, fairly new. And so just starting to use social media in order to build my brand, starting to use other, platforms that, Instagram wasn't even out just yet. So I got to kind of go, walk down the path of all these digital platforms starting to form and start to basically roll out my content for my company. And that was actually way more fun than actually doing the personal training. And so I started up my own marketing consulting business, kind of folding in the Adidas experience, the Spark experience, and working for my own brand. And so I became a marketing consultant for quite a while, hopped on board, became a marketing director for a physical therapy company for a little while. And then what's happening right now is taking all that experience and realizing that it feels like content is king. If you're putting out consistent content, eyes are starting to see your brand, and it's consistent across whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Google, LinkedIn, Twitter. People's eyes, they're on digital media, and you have to make an effort to make sure you look best on all of these platforms. And so I'm getting ready to launch my new brand, which really focuses on the content creation and just brand consistency across, all these digital platforms.
Well, you can name your brand. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Shout it out, man. Give yourself some love.
The name of the company is Fire Digital Content. And
nice.
you can find it. The website's up now. Haven't officially launched it just yet. So kind of perfect timing with what we're doing here. So if you go to firedigitalcontent.com, you can see my website.
Awesome, man. So before I get you out of here, I'm going to ask you one more question, and then I'm going to let you go. What's your favorite part about LeGrand? What's your favorite part about this beautiful valley, man?
I don't know if this is going to seem cliche, but honestly, like the best part about LeGrand is the people. It really is. I grew up, in the 70s, man, and you could run down the block, you could run 5 blocks away. It just felt like everybody knew who you were and they were going to take care of you. My family, we fell on hard times in the past. And I remember a number of coaches that would buy, cleats for me. And this was someone else's dad. They'd buy cleats, they'd buy, a mitt for me. And I got to give a shout out to Larry Nice. I got to give a shout out.
Love that guy.
To Doc Savage.
Love that guy too.
Forrest Fletcher. I don't know if you remember Forrest Fletcher.
No.
He owned the smokehouse, the Mileses.
Oh, okay. Okay. Right. I grew up right by the smokehouse,
boys.
Man.
Yeah. So just a lot of great coaches that I feel that stepped up. Uncle Doug, it just felt like, even though, I had my family, it felt like everyone else, was there. And everybody's family, in the Grand. And then you play sports and you're seen by more people, so they get to know you a little bit better.
Yeah.
And so, someone's going to take care of you.
I don't think it's cliche. I think it's just reality. Like that I would say the exact same thing about this town. The people. I mean, we live in one of the most beautiful places in the country, but the people outweigh that in my mind.
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt, man.
Eastern Oregon, he is local legend, and I don't have to reiterate that. Eric Trice, I appreciate you, man. I thank you for coming on and talking. I've been waiting for this for quite some time, and it's an honor to talk to you, man.
Dude, thank you so much for having me on your show, man. I like what you do. You're honest, just even talking with you off camera, man. I think you're a class act.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate you.
All right, man. Take care.
Eric, thank you, man. Hey, go see his website for his new adventure. And he didn't ask me to do this. I'm just doing it because I want to. It's firedigitalcontent.com, and I'll link it below. Check it out. That was your Doug Trice Memorial Local Legends. And, I mean, how fitting. Anyways, Eastern Oregon, that's all I got for you on a Friday. I appreciate you. I'm Dodsey, and I'm out.